there's issues that I have just never seen myself, where someone else in the firm has seen it repeatedly.
I can see the whole wide world with these two eyes, and I can be whoever I want to be, 'cause it's my life.
Hi, thanks for joining us for another episode of Ask Spurrell CPA. Today we're talking about the Mastermind versus the one-man show. And I have Trevor here with me again. And I think Trevor's seen the benefit of how more brain power can give you a better solution sometimes.
Yeah, you can get other ideas from people who have maybe been down a road that you haven't been yet, and they can help give you guidance, insight, and tools that you beforehand didn't know. It can really help you in your business and in your life.
Yeah. So one of the quotes that we have here is, Michael Gerber quote, author of the E-Myth. One of my favorite quotes is, the fatal assumption is, if you understand the technical work of a business, you understand the business that does that technical work. Mm-hmm. And of course, what our businesses are set up for is to guard against the fact that 50% of all Canadian small businesses go out of business within 5 years, and this is completely avoidable in our view. And the story that we have is, clients, they'll often hire a one-person firm. And sometimes that's a one-person accounting firm, a one-person marketing firm. And they think that they're going to get a better level of service because it's that one-person firm. What are the questions you think that those business owners should be asking?
Is there a lot of administration work done in accounting?
So in the accounting world, it's 100%. There is a lot of administration work. It's not just what goes into that year end. It's, filing the returns, doing any of the bookkeeping or adjusting any of the bookkeeping that went up to date, responding to the correspondence that comes through the door. So there's an exceptional amount of what I would call administrative work, as opposed to just the CPA related work. And I found out with a harsh reality in my first year. I thought I would operate the whole first year just myself.
Yeah.
And man, I made it about 7 months before I realized that this is not going to work this way. I'm basically going to be a secretary for half my time here if I don't get some help on the administration end of it.
So how do accounting firms use students to reduce costs on labor-intensive work?
So in the accounting world, the process is, if you're just simply paying 10-year CPA vets, the expense usually becomes unmanageable for the average small business owner. It's just going to be too high. So a lot of the work that can be done via students. So students that are going through the accounting process, normally they come out of university with a 4-year degree. So they got a good background already. They've gone to school for 4 years, getting a business degree with an accounting major, and they have a lot of skills already. They're a ways away from becoming a CPA. They're basically apprenticing under a CPA to become a higher level CPA, to learn the stuff that they couldn't learn in school. But those employees can be brought on at a cheaper rate than a CPA, and they can be doing some of the labor intensive work. So now you can get the CPA when you want, when you need it, but you have someone at a cheaper price point to do the work that you can do with an undergrad degree.
All right, so what are the functions that you want to spend money on a high-level CPA?
Yeah, so you don't want your CPA spending time on the phone with CRA when you're trying to find out why the e-file program didn't work for 2 hours. Someone has to do it, or else the return's not going to get submitted. But you do not want to be spending $300 an hour on somebody doing that. That's something that the student can be looking at. The stuff that you want your CPA is to be looking at those financial statements, checking to make sure they're right, and then giving you some analysis on how they compare to other companies. And how you can close the gap, or how you can outperform other companies, and giving you some planning on how you could, reduce your taxes and increase wealth quicker, and then giving you strategic business advice in the form of a plan. These are the things that really add value as a CPA. The things that if you have, the people at cheaper price points doing other the labor intensive work, the CPA can actually focus on those high level work.
So if you don't use students, would you have to take shortcuts on high-level work?
Probably, yeah, because now all that administrative, in a one-person firm, I know this for sure because I started out as a one-person firm, it would flow back to me. So you would either have to, work ridiculous hours or charge prices that were completely under market, or often, what'll eventually happen, I think, in a lot of one-person firms is they know they have to do the admin work, so they're just going to say, I don't have time for that high-level work because we have to get the return file. There's a certain amount of deliverables, so some of the high-level work will get missed probably in the interest of there's just not enough budget that the client has then.
All right, Josh, so how many people work in the firm right now?
Right now we have 8 employees besides myself. So, we have on the accounting side a team of 9 people, and then the 2 people on the inspired side as well. So, there's 11 people working actively in this firm every day, which is a lot of different skills and expertise.
How much business experience do you have personally?
Myself, I've been either studying small businesses or running small businesses or advising small businesses for probably just a little over 2 decades now. So yeah, I've got some pretty significant experience at this point.
So how much business experience is there in the firm?
That's the key. So even my 2 decades pales in comparison to the mastermind, to the skill of the entire firm. If it's just me, my 2 decades pales in comparison to we probably have 50 to 100 years of experience of different business circumstances that people have run into that I might not have seen personally. So even though I have really significant experience, it's nothing compared to the experience of the group.
So are there often problems that staff within the firm have more experience with?
Yeah, so here's where it is. So even though I have a lot of experience on business issues, there's issues that I have just never seen myself, where someone else in the firm has seen it repeatedly and multiple times. And I might have been focusing on these types of projects where other people in the firm might have been focusing on this type of the functions themselves. Certain things that are done in QuickBooks or some of the third-party apps. I'll be sitting there trying to research it, and someone else in the firm has done it a dozen times before, but they just know it immediately. So we get to the answer, so much quicker by using that group knowledge that I would, even as an experienced CPA myself, 2 decades of small business experience. Working in, advising, studying. There's no way that I could do that, have that same knowledge base in one head. You just can't have it. The team is better than any one of the people.
So how do you leverage that experience in morning meetings?
So, our day here at Spurrell & Associates, it starts off very defined. It starts off with a morning meeting at 8 a.m. and we go through some of the, the wins that we're having and some of the challenges that we're having. We get a game plan, but also we have that, kind of period where people can ask questions on something that they're stuck on. They know that they're going to be doing this right away and this is going to come up. And, rather than them spend a few hours spinning their wheels on something, they have the opportunity to ask the entire group if they have a solution to figure it out. And that can save hours and hours off of, people's workload. So that morning meeting is extremely valuable. You just have the knowledge of, sometimes 11 people just in one session. You have that mastermind to figure it out. It just saves, you're more likely to get the right answer, and you're more likely to get the answer in a time efficient manner as opposed to just trying to come up with it yourself.
Yeah, and the other side of that, Josh, is if more than one person is having the same problem, yet they're all trying to figure out the solution to that problem, individually, one person has that solution already. So it saves time in troubleshooting.
Yeah, you can just task out, if everyone's having the problem, no one solved it yet, just task one person to solve it. And then the clients aren't spending, they're spending one-fifth. If they have 5 people in the firm all having the same problem, we get one person to figure it out and everyone else doubles back to it the next day. And if you're a one-person firm, guess what? You've paid 100% of that bill. Usually they're billing by the hours for you to do that too. That's one of the reasons why we can bill flat fees that way as well.
So how do the workstations that you use in the firm help you leverage the mastermind?
Yeah, they'll help us do live reviews as files. So Conventional workstations, they involve, you're trying to peer over someone's shoulder on a small screen. Eventually you get frustrated. So you just go in your own little cubicle or workstation or office and you review it yourself, and you're poking around at stuff and you're not quite sure. But in these sort of workstations, we can pull up information on the screen that everybody can see. Everybody on the team, the manager in the middle, the two team members, and we can collaborate on what's working, what's not working. We can figure problems out quicker, and we get more opinions too. Often when you look at a business issue, if you just get one opinion, even myself, I have enough experience, but if I just get one opinion, it's not going to be as good as someone trying to poke holes in my opinion, because that might sound challenging, but we want to poke holes in other people's strategies first here in the accounting office before that strategy gets put into place in the real world. And in the real world, it's not the video game. There's no reset button. We can't we can't go back on it. So the decisions matter, and it helps us get to a good decision before we ever put that into practice, and we're able to just collaborate on that information and bring up the information and get everybody's thoughts aligning in the right direction. So I think that's what we have here today on the Mastermind versus the one-man show. And as always, so please hit the like and subscribe button so we can continue to deliver you tips on how to beat the odds at business. And we look forward to reading your comments in the section below so we can respond and know what you guys would like to address in future videos. Thanks very much.